You landed the six-figure salary. Maybe you hit 100,000, maybe even more. And yet somehow, at the end of every month, you're staring at your bank account, wondering where it all went. You're not alone. This is one of the most talked about yet least understood financial experiences in modern life. Earning good money and still feeling completely broke. And today we're going to break down exactly why that happens and what you can actually do about it. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Earning more money does not automatically make you wealthier. That sounds obvious when you say it plainly. But the way most people behave with a bigger paycheck suggests they genuinely believe income and wealth are the same thing. They are not. Income is what flows in. Wealth is what stays. And if you're earning $100,000 a year but spending $102,000, you are technically going backwards despite having a salary most people dream about. So why does this keep happening to smart, hardworking people? Welcome to Wealthy Wari, because we're about to find out. By the end of this video, you'll feel enlightened as we reveal the real reason why your score drops. The first reason is something called lifestyle inflation, and it is ruthless. The moment your income goes up, your perceived baseline of what you deserve to spend also goes up. You got the raise, so now the apartment feels too small. You landed the promotion, so the old car feels embarrassing. You hit your income goal, so now the restaurants you used to love feel beneath you somehow. Every single upgrade feels completely justified in the moment. But here is what the math actually shows. Someone earning $150,000 with a strong savings rate can build more wealth than someone earning $250,000 who lets spending creep up with every income increase. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is the actual engine of financial growth. Widen that gap and you build wealth. Shrink it and you stay broke regardless of your salary. The second reason you feel broke is that nobody teaches you how your financial priorities have to evolve as your income grows. When you were making $40,000 or $50,000, the game was simple. Spend less, save more, avoid debt. Those rules still matter. But at $100,000, new threats emerge. And one of the sneakiest is the complexity trap. As your income grows, suddenly everyone has something to sell you. Complicated investment products, tax strategies that require a whiteboard to explain, alternative assets that sound sophisticated and exclusive. And here is the psychological trap. Complexity feels like sophistication. It feels like what successful people do. So you start layering in strategies and products and accounts. And before long, you have no idea what your actual financial picture looks like. Meanwhile, simple low-cost index funds and straightforward tax-advantaged accounts keep quietly outperforming most of these elaborate setups. Complexity often benefits the person selling it far more than the person buying it. Now let's talk about something that hits close to home for a lot of high earners: overconfidence. You made it to 100,000. That required real skill, real discipline, real decisions. The danger is assuming that success in your career translates automatically into skill in every financial domain. It does not. Someone who built savings through years of consistent investing might suddenly feel qualified to pick individual stocks or back a friend's startup or time the crypto market. The behaviors that built the wealth, patience, diversification, avoiding speculation, get abandoned right when they are needed most. Your past success was real, but apply that confidence carefully. The stakes are higher now than when you had less to lose. Here is something else going on that is deeply psychological. You are probably comparing yourself to the wrong people. When you were earning less, the comparison gap felt too large to bother with. Now that you are at 100,000, you are suddenly closer to people with more. Maybe they are in your neighborhood, your office, your social circle, and all of a sudden your perfectly good life starts to feel inadequate. The house feels smaller. The vacation feels less impressive. The car feels dated. This comparison trap has no finish line. People with $10 million feel behind when they know people with 50 million. It never ends unless you consciously decide what enough actually looks like for your own life. Define enough on your own terms. What does the life you genuinely want actually cost? Not the life that would impress your neighbors or your college roommate. The life you would actually wake up excited about. When you define that number clearly, reaching it becomes possible. When you let comparison define it, reaching it becomes mathematically impossible by design. Let us also address something a little uncomfortable. The reason many high earners feel broke is partly because of financial enabling. When you were struggling, nobody was asking you for money. Now that you are doing well, the requests start appearing. Family emergencies, a friend with a brilliant business idea, a relative who just needs a loan to get through a rough patch. And because you care about people, because you remember what it felt like to struggle, you say yes. And then you say yes again and again. Before long, you have created expectations you never intended to set, damaged relationships you never meant to put at risk, and quietly drained a significant chunk of what should have been building your future. Helping people you love is not wrong, but help without clear boundaries often ends up harming both sides. If you choose to give money to someone close to you, treat it mentally as a gift, not a loan. Only give what you can afford to lose entirely, and be honest with yourself about what you are enabling versus what you are genuinely solving. Now, here is a shift that sounds counterintuitive, but is absolutely real at the $100,000 income level. You can become too focused on saving $5 on groceries while completely ignoring the decisions that actually move the needle. Auditing your investment fees, optimizing your tax strategy, making sure your insurance coverage actually protects what you have built. These decisions can be worth thousands of dollars annually. Haggling over minor expenses can feel productive, but if it is where all your financial energy goes, your big picture finances can quietly deteriorate. As your income grows, the highest value use of your attention shifts. Make sure your focus shifts with it. And finally, one of the most overlooked reasons that high earners still feel financially stressed is neglecting protection. When you did not have much, inadequate insurance or no estate planning was not a catastrophe. There was not much to protect, but now there is. A lawsuit, a major health event, dying without a will. Any of these can rapidly undo years of careful building. Umbrella insurance, updated estate documents, appropriate coverage levels. These are not exciting. They are not the kind of things that make for flashy conversations, but they are the foundation that keeps everything you built from disappearing in a single bad event. So let us bring this all together. Earning $100,000 and still feeling broke is not a mystery. It is predictable. It happens when lifestyle spending races to match income. It happens when complexity replaces clarity. It happens when overconfidence leads to speculative decisions. It happens when comparison replaces intentionality. It happens when protecting wealth never becomes a priority. The good news is that every single one of these patterns is changeable. Not by earning more, but by being more deliberate about how you manage what you already earn. The gap between your income and your spending is your real financial engine. Protect it. Define what enough means to you and measure your progress against that definition rather than against someone else's life. Stay humble about what you know and what you do not. Keep your financial life as simple as it can genuinely be while still serving your goals. $100,000 a year is genuinely good money. It can absolutely fund a secure, full, meaningful financial life, but only if the habits and the mindset match the opportunity. The salary alone will never be enough. What you do with it is everything.